Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Scope. And now, here are your hosts, Jared, Adam, and Shane. Oh, hey, Scopers. We're back with another fantastic edition of The Scope. This one marks our 174th edition of our standard show in our standard numbering system, Jared.
Is that a base 10 system?
I think it is.
Okay.
Well, this is a very, very exciting show for us because we do it once a year, and it brings a lot of controversy.
I've tried to get us to do it twice a year, but you keep giving me some
I will shoot you down because
run around about
If only
how
summer could come more than once.
exactly.
Yeah, well, in this state, we're lucky to get it once, so let's be fair and honest
I'm
about
hearing
that.
it's going to be colder than average.
We're talking about weather.
We are. Go figure.
It's the summer weather preview.
Yeah, and it's going to be cold. And,
Looking like a little bit of rain. Probably some possible severe outbreaks in July and August.
Oh, shoot.
But after we get done talking
Guys,
weather...
we forgot to change.
Oh, we did forget to change.
Whatever. I don't care. You don't have to change right now. It's all right.
He's getting naked. It's the Summer Movie Preview 2014 edition.
2014. Come on. We agreed on this
yeah.
earlier.
We started doing this back...
I don't care. I'm just being a pedant for fun's sake.
What was our first year of doing this, Jared? Just crunch some numbers for me.
First year we started doing the show was 2006.
2006. So
Yeah.
if we go back, how
Yeah.
many years is that?
Yeah. We're in our 9th year, Shane.
9th year.
We talked about this.
It's amazing to me that we're still
talked
doing
about
this.
a lot of things that you've forgotten. We're getting
old. We're all getting old, Jared.
Yeah, I know. Adam's almost old.
Mm-hmm. Getting there.
Yeah. How old are you? You're 1982, aren't
1980.
1980.
33.
Okay.
33.
You're right there. Right there.
We
Do you
can't wait
guys-
for your 40th birthday celebration
do
on
you
this
get-
show.
That you'll be invited to. Do you guys...
Wow.
Aren't you invited to my 40th
Sick
birthday?
Burn.
I think you are.
Yes, I am. I think I replied, maybe.
Oh, an asshole.
I think by the time we do the next cycle, that event will have happened, won't it? Or very close to. Or I think we'll record right before that happens.
Yeah.
Probably. Anyway.
we
If
have
you
time.
ever want to feel really old
Mhm.
and you're, roughly our age or even slightly younger, watch one of those YouTube videos of kids react to technology.
Yeah.
Because there was one about them using Walkman recently.
Yeah, I saw that.
And when the one kid who's like 14 or something, he's like, oh, I'm such a 90s kid. I'm such a like I don't even know what that means. He's
Yeah.
like, I wasn't even born in the 90s though. Like, fuck you.
I look forward to the kids reacting to like desktop computers and not sure what those are.
Yeah.
And those are probably a couple years away, and then we're like, "What is this world turning into?"
Why
They
is
don't know-
why is the screen not flat?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Why am I not wearing this tech?
Yeah, why is this not on my face? And presenting a virtual world for me to explore.
Why are
Embedded-
people spelling words out instead of
Yeah.
just the letter U and LOL?
Why are people saying 2014 versus 2014? I mean, it's going to be crazy.
At some point, kids are going to be like nostalgic for the era when companies dropped vowels from their names.
Yeah. Like Google without the E.
Or like Tumblr or the billion other examples
Yes.
of real
Or
ones.
Tumblr.
Flickr.
That's probably real.
At some point, those vowels are going to come back, and then we're never going to remember
With a
that world.
vengeance.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that down. Vowels returning with vengeance. Okay, hold on. Just taking
We'll just-
notes.
You
can't-
Hold on one sec.
You
Taking
can't
notes.
use that. You're gonna say the 2000. The title is gonna be the summer movie preview.
But
Well, I do also have to do the scope episode
yeah.
one.
You have
It's a-
hard work.
it's a whole process.
Oh,
He
gosh.
spends a lot of time on those descriptions, and I hope everyone reads them.
I used to have to do that. I know. I remember.
Sometimes Jared laughs at them. Sometimes he doesn't. Yes, we do have the summer.
Most of the time, I'm just like, have you written it yet? Have
Yeah.
you written it yet?
Well, guess what, guys? We're
Yeah.
not getting any younger. Jared has established that I'm getting old and I'm getting terrible at one of the main hosting jobs here for the show. So let's just push on.
Pushing on, sir.
We've got a ton of summer movies. We've got coming soon.
A head full impulse power.
Do we have comments? You'll just have to listen to the end of the show and find out. So stick around. We'll be back with more Scope right after this.
Attention fans of funny music. The first ever comedy music convention is here with performances by Carrie Dolby, Devo Spice, Garden Fresh, The Great Luke Ski, Tony Goldmark, Matt Griffo, Dan Hart, Insane Ian, Phil Johnson, Possible Oscar, Power Salad, Raymond and Scum, Sea Monkey, Tom Smith, and Worm Quartet. And presenting this year's special guest of honor, legendary radio personality Dr. Demento. Funkfest is taking place June 20th through 22nd at the Westin North Shore in Wheeling, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Tickets for the weekend are just $35 until March 31st. Join us for live concerts, panels, Dr. Demento's Festival of Dementia, Demented Karaoke, a Q&A with Meatmorph Studios, and the 4th Annual Logan Whitehurst Memorial Awards for Excellence in Comedy Music, hosted by Dr. Demento.
Hi, this is Dr. Demento. Come join me and my friends from the Fump at FumpFest this June in Chicagoland.
Visit FumpFest.com to register for the event and reserve your hotel now. That's FumpFest.com.
Summer's here, and the time is right for the highly anticipated but never duplicated Scope Summer Preview. We'll fill you in on all the must-sees and must-avoids of this very important season. The Scope Summer Preview.
And we are back.
I like breaking out that jingle.
That Tony Partington shoots right to dedication to John Norton. So there we go.
And we always anticipated we would talk about more summer stuff, but we always only talk about the movies.
Yeah. Well, what else are we going to do?
I don't know. We could do TV. There's a lot of summer TV these days.
Maybe
back in the day there wasn't, and there's a lot of summer music. A lot of artists.
People just want to go out to the beach. They want to, catch a little surf, catch a little waves, catch a little rays.
I just want to drink some beer and hear the hits.
But first,
oh my God!
I thought you were gonna say,
What?
"Let me take a selfie." You know that.
Let me take a selfie.
That's
Very nice.
Oh, was I doing the song? I don't even know.
I think you are accidentally doing that song.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that song.
All right, guys.
We're here to talk about that song, right?
We are not here to talk about that song. We are here to talk about summer movies.
Yeah.
Jared, Adam, and myself, we have been summer movie beasts the last few years, seeing a lot of movies for you guys. But to know what we're getting into, we always like to review kind of the upcoming schedule, the slate of films prior to seeing them. So this year round, what does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Here we go. Here we go.
I've never done this before. I'm going to throw this question out there, as I do almost every year. And I was telling Jared and Adam before the show started, we are way ahead of the trend when it comes to comic book movies. We've been talking about how they are going to be big for years, and we are now finally in the golden age. We might have to start talking about when they will just collapse upon themselves.
When will the bubble burst?
But
I feel like we've been asking that question for 3 years,
and we don't have the answer.
I think there's a lot of people who have been asking that, but
as long as Marvel keeps doing their movies right, at least that segment will stand the test of time. But this summer, by my count, we've got 5 comic book movies.
Name them.
I will name them right now. How dare you? Looking at them, I've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right, arguable.
Not arguable. It started out as a comic book.
I understand
Yes.
that. But
Shut your
come
mouth.
on, come
Next,
on.
Sin City. Spider-Man 2.
Arguable.
X-Men. And Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe the biggest question mark of the group. Is this, Jared, is this a good summer for summer comic book movies?
If you're a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe not as big as you were hoping for, although Guardians of the Galaxy is going to fit into that.
That is a wild card film, is it not, Adam?
It's very much so. No one knows what to expect from that right now.
I think this could be, this is really where the other Marvel universes are trying to really establish themselves.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is trying to set up their Spider-Man world, and we talked about it in our last episode. Maybe not so successful in the actual storytelling front, but they definitely put in the effort to build their universe. And we already know that they're going to do a Sinister Six film, and they're going to do 2 more Spider-Man films. So,
yes. And a Venom film more than likely as well. They've been talking about. So
X-Men is really trying to reestablish itself in its universe. We've got Days of Future Past coming out.
Yep.
They've already announced Apocalypse. There's probably going to be several spin-off character movies.
And a shared universe with Fantastic Four, more than likely. Yeah. So we'll see how they pull that together. That's not that you won't see those roots being grown for a little bit, but they have mentioned it.
Right, but I feel like this is the year where the other studios are trying to establish their broader continuity.
The DreamWorks to the Pixar behemoths.
Yes,
and the company that's matching Marvel step for step, of course, is Warner Brothers, DC, with all of their DC movies.
All of them coming out this year.
I think that's sort of the biggest question mark, or the biggest interest to me, is the fact that DC is really letting Marvel sort of dictate what is done in the movie universes with their comic book characters, and DC almost comes across as followers rather than leaders, when, ironically enough, Superman might be one of the most iconic characters of all time.
But, do you really think that the movie-going public All right.
No, go ahead.
Next
Do you
question.
think that they know, that they care, that they, like if the Batman Superman movie comes out and it's good, are people going to be like, comparing it to Spider-Man? Or is it just like
Is this
these
more?
are just the
More,
action
more,
movies
more?
now?
It's a great question. I think that geek and comic book culture is mainstream enough where people do look at that stuff. At the end of the day, if it's good, and people are going to see it.
Yeah.
But I do think that it is interesting in a talking heads news program sort of way that the same questions I asked are asked on all internet sites and TV shows when they're talking about movies like this, that DC is a follower and Marvel is a leader. I mean, they're the ones that established the giant shared universe, and DC is going to try to get into that game as best they can. I mean, there are other movie studios are doing it too with other properties. I mean, you have the Universal Monsters they're going to try to set all those characters up in a shared universe where you can have separate movies and then bring them together to
like Frankenstein and the Mummy and stuff.
Is this going to lead to some sort of viewer fatigue where people just want to see something that's self-contained and maybe don't want to see all the other pieces of the puzzle? Or is this just beneficial to everyone who's trying to make movies and make money? Where it just promotes people will just go see more stuff because they need to see the next chapter in the story.
I think it's probably the latter, but I also think there's room in the cinematic world for both types of movies. But I think with comic books, because just the way comic book characters are structured, at least in the Marvel and DC and any sort of superhero world, it's always about the bigger picture.
Sure.
It's not just about one character doing his own thing. It's about how all these pieces fit together and interlock. And you can go anywhere on the planet and have some sort of superhero team, or how these villains and how they're going to work together to try to take down the world and so on and so forth. So I think that's an inherent part of what comic book movies are.
I'm just concerned that I get wary of studios trying to just do a trilogy of everything. Everything is a trilogy.
Sure.
Trying to establish a trilogy of something. And now you've got it where you have trilogies related to other trilogies into a larger trilogy. And it's...
Why does it even have to be just three? Why can't it just be whatever it is?
That's the bigger question too. Why does everyone love the trilogy so much?
Because movies are told in 3 acts. So
but these trilogies aren't telling a story in 3 acts. They're telling just 3 series of a movie. I don't know. Even I who enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe can feel a little bit of a fatigue coming on, I think, with there being so many interrelated, not only movies, but also properties.
Yeah.
I mean, TV shows, we've got all these TV shows coming too. And maybe as long as they're good, I guess I'm okay with it.
I think that Marvel can get away with 2 to 3 movies a year.
Yeah.
And be okay with it.
Okay.
The problem is you have other like pseudo Marvel movies from other studios kind of coming out at the same time, and then you get this overload of it's like it's watering down the deliciousness of what Marvel Cinematic Universe is. I mean, I think with Spider-Man, for instance, like some might argue that Spider-Man 2 is the chink in the armor, so to speak. Like you can see a weakness of what they're trying to do because the movie was not successful, and that kind of stuff can spoil the entire bunch, don't you think?
Well, that's my question is Marvel movies overall in the MCU have been creatively successful for the most part. So if what happens if we start getting 1 or 2 bad apples where they're not good?
But it did like with Spider-Man 3, with X-Men 3 was the one where
they stopped and practically rebooted though.
Yeah, none of the Hulk movies have really been really successful.
Yeah,
true. But I think once Marvel proper found its footing, they've been pretty good. I mean, you could make a case that Iron Man 2 wasn't the greatest.
Yeah, and I think most people were just kind of meh on the first Captain America.
Well, I disagree. I think a lot of people really like that movie.
Really? Okay. Well, I don't know. I see what you're saying though.
It
like, now that they've
wasn't
established...
as successful, and it had weaknesses, but it still did a good job of establishing.
I'm not saying you have to hit an A+ with every film,
because you're not going to. I think.
But
they
I'm
know
just
that.
what happens when you suddenly get a stinker or 2 in there.
Yeah.
Like maybe you get a Ghost Rider, a film of that that critical panning and box office poison. In the MCU, does the thing start to fall apart? Do people start to lose interest?
Did we talk about?
Depends if it becomes a trend or if it's a one-off.
Well,
that's what I think.
Well, so I think like last month we talked about the Netflix deal, right? Where
yeah.
So if you combine Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
which is not super successful, really. I mean,
with
Certainly not as successful as they were
those-
hoping it to be.
like, what if they start?
So maybe
pumping
that's
out-
the first bomb in the run.
yeah.
They could start pumping out like B-level content with some of those, and that just kind of becomes part of the story that
Sure.
people are kind of aware of, and they're like, oh, there's all this comic book stuff out.
I think
It's just dumb.
I think Hollywood would not like it. I
Yeah.
think that, I
Hollyweird.
think they
Hollyweird.
are sorry, Hollywood. I think they appreciate having built-in characters that some people know to varying degrees, instead of always having to go back to the sequel well with something else. I think that it's good to have stories that are built out there that exist that can be translated into movie form and be successful.
It's always interesting to me that with James Bond, that's a series that's so old. No one really knows the origin of James Bond anymore. Like they kind of did it with Casino Royale recently, but they don't feel the need to go back and re-explain the origin of him every time.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's fine. He's just a secret agent dude, and you don't have to. But I was really surprised with the Amazing Spider-Man 1 from a couple years ago that they felt the need to redo the origin.
Sure.
I mean, I guess that plays into some of the secrets of that one.
And
people
two.
like origin stories too, though. So
Are they?
They're
I think I
weirdos.
feel like, at least maybe it's just me, but I fatigue of origin stories,
yeah,
especially when it's like the bulk of a film story.
right.
Okay, so let me pose this question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel Cinematic Universe is having a pretty good run.
Yes, they are.
What happens when we're several years down the road? I have confidence that their next batch, their phase 2 will wrap up well. Phase 3 will be good. What happens down the road when all of these actors that we've loved in these roles, all their contracts are up and nobody wants to come back?
Well,
What do we do? How will they succeed?
you have to ask the question: are the characters more popular than the actors that portray them?
Mhm.
For the most part, I think they can get away with it.
Okay.
Iron Man is a big question.
Do they need to take a break though? Do they
Oh,
need to
like
take
like
off?
you sort of stop and you give
Like-
it a natural, not a
Yeah.
reboot, but you give it a breath. And
like
then
Robert Downey Jr. is done with Iron Man. He's not coming back. How long of a break do you have to give it? Several years before you decide, okay, we're bringing Iron Man back in a different character.
You get more.
And what do you do about the Avengers?
you get Morton Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Even though he's dead and buried as well.
Do you do more Avengers films and you switch up the characters? Or I mean, obviously it's a question that they are having internally. They're
Yeah.
trying to answer that because they're plotting this out for decades.
Yes.
So they obviously have a roadmap and they know that certain people aren't coming back. Chris Evans has already said when he's done with his contract, he's done acting. So
Well, I think he backed off on that a little bit.
Okay.
But I think it's a fair question, and
Yeah.
I think that is kind of the next big. That's the next big thing, in terms of superhero movies. You've got these superheroes existing on their own. You've got them bleeding into their, into the universe. Then you have the shared movie, and then the next step is what happens when you don't have. The actor doesn't want to play that person anymore. How can you bounce back from that? Can you just recast?
But this is handled already, and I mean, I realize
Has it
movies-
really been done though?
But it's handled every year in comic books, where you have different people playing those roles.
Sure.
You have a new Spider-Man now.
But
Now,
a lot of
obviously
times it
that's-
always goes back to the original character. Eventually, it's always going to be Peter Parker.
I mean,
as
it
Spider-Man.
doesn't always, but yes,
Or Bruce Wayne is
yeah.
always going to play Batman.
But
or,
he doesn't always play Batman 2019 or
Sure.
20XX.
but you're essentially talking about a separate character. Yes, it's based on the original.
Right. But I mean, you could argue that every character that we're watching right now is, based on a certain version of that character. Like you could go to the Ultimates universe and say, those are all, technically different characters or different versions of, the Avengers and everything. So I don't know. I think they have a built-in way of doing it. I don't know that movie audiences
Yeah, that's the
necessarily
trick.
will
But
be okay with all that.
You do have, like, if you go back to James Bond, obviously, you've got different people playing James Bond. You do have different actors playing iconic characters. I think that you just have to cast it smartly. And, maybe you do something where you have an Avengers, let's say you do an Avengers 4 that doesn't have Iron Man, but then you bring back a different character, a different actor playing him in Avengers 5
My
or
dream of
something
Pierce
like
Brosnan playing Iron Man.
that. It's over.
So do you do it piecemeal replacements? Like it's the same characters, but now someone else is playing Iron Man? Or do you do a wholesale replacement of actors? Same characters, new batch of actors.
I thought X-Men.
I think you do same characters, different actors.
Yeah, I thought
When-
X-Men First Class did a good job of it.
but as
by
as
going back
as
in time.
needed, not all at once.
Yeah, as needed. If you
Okay.
can have them there. If you can have the continuity, at least some of the same actors playing those characters, why not?
But I'm sure the contracts aren't going to all end at the same time either.
No.
So
Yeah, I think that Robert Downey Jr. will be the first one, but a lot of not a lot of speculation, but my speculation is that he probably would play Iron Man for a long time. He just wants to get paid for it, which is crazy because he's already getting paid for it. So who knows? We'll have to see what happens.
Okay.
So let's quickly go through our comic book movies that we haven't touched on. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This one's going to be a disaster, right?
I feel like it's going to be a box office success, but I don't think it's going to be
if it's good?
a film at all.
What if it's like kind of good?
Then I stand corrected, but everything I've seen looks dicey right now.
But what if it's good?
Sin City, is that a Dame to Kill For? Is
Yes.
that even needed? Are you excited about it?
I'm excited for it.
Okay.
I like the first one, and I like Robert Rodriguez.
I think they waited too long on that one.
You're probably right on that one.
Yeah. It was 9 years ago, right?
Was
I
it?
have the
Holy
number
cow.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like trying to figure out like how much have I changed? Because I don't feel like
Yeah.
that. I feel like that's going to be the same movie,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, when that movie came out, I was reading Sin City. Now I haven't read Sin City in probably 9 years. So,
Yeah, they probably waited too long. You're right.
And finally, let's just quickly say Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm excited for it,
Yeah.
but I'm really curious to see how audiences react.
Yeah,
I've
it's
seen
so hard to predict.
I've seen a lot of nerds be very positive about it, and rightfully so. I mean, it's fantastic that Marvel's in a position that they can take a risk like that.
Do a space
Yeah.
movie.
And
If
something
it
Do
does-
a Star Wars movie,
Right.
essentially.
If it does well, I think that speaks really highly of their potential to do other weird Adamant or not Adamant.
Adamant, I love it. Goody Two Shoes. He's coming. He's got superpowers. He can dance all over your face.
The Ant, Doctor Strange, like other like non-typical superhero movies.
Right.
If it does terribly, then you have to worry about what they then decide to do for risk taking.
I think the fact that it's a built-in Marvel movie,
Yeah.
even if it's different, will give it some credence. It
Sure.
will give it some weight. But if the reviews come back bad, then we got a different story going. I think it has to be reviewed well.
Okay.
That's the key with that movie.
I think the early buzz is that it's going to be fun.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it
So-
looks fun. Trailers look a lot of fun. They don't take themselves very seriously. It's
WWE star Batista is in it,
done. Sold. And you can watch all of his clips on the WWE Network.
or just the network as they call it now.
Just the
Just
network.
the network.
All right, guys. Next issue, Speed Round. I've got a list of summer movies.
Let's do it.
Everybody gets to review it, or not review it, gets to give their take in one sentence.
I've seen all 8 of them.
Jared, do you have
I
do
do.
you have a ding for me?
All right.
So let's start it off. This is the Disney movie. It's pronounced Maleficent, starring Angelina Jolie.
It's Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Yes.
All right, Maleficent.
I had a hard time with this until about a month ago, until I figured out how it's pronounced. It's Maleficent.
Maleficent.
They finally
the
pronounced her name in the trailer.
the
which is
creepily
helpful.
beautiful villain
Yes.
from the Sleeping Beauty animated film. Jared, go.
I'm sure Disney fans will be thrilled, but it's not a film for me.
Wow. Adam.
Concise. The new trailers, I think, actually make it look better. I'm worried it's just going to be another Snow White and the Huntsman from last year.
Didn't that movie get pretty good box office, and that's why they're doing this?
I have no idea, but I know that it didn't get reviewed well. So I don't know that makes it worth seeing just because other people see it. Wake up, sheeple.
For me, this movie is one of the biggest question marks of the year. To do it in 2 sentences, I have no idea how this movie is going to do or how good it's going to be.
I think it's going to be a hit.
Man, it got moved. It was a March release originally that got moved to July. So you think, oh, maybe they think it's going to do well. But then it got bumped to June, May, whatever it comes out.
For the record, Snow White and the Huntsman did 155 million
That's not bad.
off of a budget of 170.
Okay, that's bad.
That's not good.
Kristen
Thank you
Stewart.
for making me look bad on the show, Jared. Once a show. That's all you need to do. Next movie, A Million Ways to Die in the West. That's Seth MacFarlane's follow-up to the extremely popular comedy Ted. Seth, this time, stars in this film as himself. He's looking like a young Peter Brady still. The guy doesn't age. Jared.
Well, ever since he didn't die in 9/11, he's just held on to that youth.
Yeah.
Seems like this film's going to throw a lot of things at us, and at least there isn't a vulgar teddy bear in it.
Mm-hmm. Adam.
Mila Kunis jokes in a trailer are really good. I found Ted. I was surprised that it was good. I just worry that I'm tired of Seth MacFarlane's thing.
It still looks like a bit of a Family Guy flashback in live action form to me.
Yeah.
But the trailer was funny.
Yep.
Trailer was funny. Okay, next movie, Edge of Tomorrow. I believe this is I saw my first trailer for this today last week rather, for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, last week.
And this is Tom Cruise's science fiction movie, which apparently he dies a lot and runs around in an exo-robotic skeleton suit. Adam, your take.
It's a remake of a Japanese movie that's supposedly really good. But the trailers for Oblivion, last summer's Tom Cruise sci-fi movie, the trailers made it look okay or good even. That movie was terrible. And it has really strangely similar themes to it too. So I'm not hopeful about it. Also, I think it's like 17 screenwriters.
Good run-on sentence there. Terrific.
Thanks.
Tom Cruise rarely impresses me in any movies he's done in the last 15 years. ... This one looks to be no exception. Jared.
I think the trailer looked kind of neat, but I really wish it was someone other than Tom Cruise in the lead role.
Boom.
And I like the original title better. All You Need Is Kill.
Yes. That's the Japanese movie that's based on.
Next film, it's a comedy. 22 Jump Street. The sequel to 20 Jump Street.
What?
Right. They're even numbers only.
Only even numbers.
Oh, interesting.
And it needs no explanation. I like the first one. I assume this one will have a lot of the same stuff. And by the trailer, it certainly looks like it has a lot of the same stuff. Hope we get to see it for free. Jared.
This film appears to be making all the right moves as a self-aware sequel.
I think Jared wrote all his sentences out.
What, was I not supposed to?
Yeah, so did I.
Oh, I didn't.
You gave us the films, and it's called preparing.
Don't ruin the illusion.
Okay.
Adam.
These guys that are making it, the Lego Movie, 21 Jump Street, Cloudy with a Chance Meatballs guys, they are batting 1,000. So I'm excited for this movie.
All right. Next film, Jersey Boys. Now, I assume this is a filmatic version of the Broadway play?
Yes, the hit Broadway musical.
You put it on the list.
Yeah.
The Rise and Fall of the Four Seasons.
All right.
I don't know if they fell or rose.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Don't care. Jared.
I no longer go to the movies with my parents.
I'm not so old that I'll like this.
I don't know who wrote this, but I have Fuck the Baby Boomers as my review.
Wow.
Bold. All right, next film. It's a comedy. It's called Tammy. It's Melissa McCarthy, Susan Sarandon. They are together. I think they're playing a mother-daughter combination. I assume it will have a lot of Melissa McCarthy antics and sort of her bit. We'll start with you, Adam.
It seems a lot like The Guilt Trip, the Seth Rogen road trip movie with Barbara Streisand. Not Barbara Streisand. Yeah. So I don't get Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'll take the next line. I agree with you. I don't get Melissa McCarthy in big doses. When she's in a movie,
is that a fat joke?
It is not a fat joke.
Wow.
She needs to be a supporting character with a little bit of her in the film. That's when she is magic. Jared.
Yeah, I agree. I'm over the Melissa McCarthy riffs on something, and we call that a scene show. I'm done with it.
So that's
small doses.
Yeah, small doses. Next is another comedy. There's a lot of comedies coming out, guys. Sex Tape.
Mm-hmm.
This is who is it? We've got
Jason Segel.
Thank you.
Yep. And
Cameron Diaz. They star as a couple that make a sex tape.
Yeah.
And what? The sex tape gets leaked?
It gets on the internet somehow on accident.
And then crazy stuff goes down. I will start. You can tell how much I care about this movie by the fact that I didn't really even know what it was about. Jared.
I watched the trailer, and who syncs their iTunes account to all of the iPads they're giving out as gifts? I think it's a flawed premise.
Premise flawed. Jared is out. Adam.
Also, the trailer is just not good, which is, a lot of times they spoil like way too many jokes in a trailer, and I don't remember really finding anything in it funny. So either they're doing a great job of holding all the jokes out of the trailer, or there's just no funny bits. And I love Jason Segel.
Can we hope for the cinematic return of Jason Segel's penis?
Fingers crossed, among other things. Also, next movie, not a comedy unless you're a sick mother effer. Godzilla, the remake. They've remade Godzilla a number of times. This one stars Breaking Bad.
Stars Breaking Bad. That was his name of the show.
As a guy who's very emotional and apparently has to seal his wife up in some sort of container, while Godzilla stomps around and his son is also a military man. Jared.
I think this looks like an authentic Godzilla film, and I look forward to how it ties into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Me too. I will go. That's my sentence. I can't wait for this movie. I think that it has what it takes to stomp the competition. Adam.
I like.
And I
just
didn't write
talking-
that ahead of time.
I like just talking about trailers, and the trailers for this movie have made it look really good. Just like surprisingly, I'm excited for it.
Pause, Jared.
Okay.
Let's compare this to Pacific Rim, a movie that I was down on.
I was excited for initially before I saw it.
And we saw it, and it was a big mess.
Yeah.
Does this look like the tone that Pacific Rim should have taken?
Yes.
Absolutely. A little less goofy-looking robots, a little more serious, and then let's kick some ass.
Sidebar, I've caught pieces of Pacific Rim on HBO occasionally when my TV's been on.
And?
It doesn't hold up. I think it looks worse than I remember it. Sorry, Pacific Rim fans. And
there are legions,
Yes.
trust me. Next,
That's it for the list.
I've got two special sneak preview movies because Jared yelled at me for not picking August
now
movies.
we really are off the road here.
This one I picked for Jared because he
Yes.
does a killer imitation of this man.
What?
It's the biopic of James Brown. Get on up.
What?
Jared's been known to do James Brown from time to time. Jared, tell me.
This is my 1 sentence reaction.
Get on up.
I'm learning about this film's existence for the first time.
Does it star Bruno Mars? I'm going to look.
Yeah, we probably glanced over it. I don't like when I read the Entertainment Weekly issue. I don't read about every film. I only read about the ones that I care about.
You're a lazy scope.
I know.
It comes out August 1st, so it barely makes Jared's arbitrary cutoff date.
No, that's Guardians of the Galaxy Day anyway.
It stars Chadwick Boseman, Octavia Spencer, Dan Aykroyd, and Viola Davis.
I think I'm more interested in the Jimi Hendrix one with Andre 3000.
Andre 3000, I love him. Adam?
Yeah.
James Brown, will you see him?
Probably not.
Shane Palmersheim? No, I will not see it unless I see a sneak preview.
Uh-huh.
And even then, I may not see it.
It'll probably happen during the week when you're on vacation.
Yeah, I'll be out of town. Or maybe seeing Paul McCartney in concert with you, Jared. Next, the last movie is a science fiction thriller. One word.
The lady's name, I bet.
It's a lady's name. Dolly.
Oh,
Lucy.
The Dolly Parton story. No, it's Lucy starring Black Widow. You know her better as...
Off on her own. ScarJo.
ScarJo.
The voice of the operating system in her.
Who's better, Jared? ScarJo or Gwen Stacy?
Who's better at what?
In what regards? What are we critiquing?
A total score.
Scarlett Johansson.
Well,
Adam.
only one of them's a real person, so Scarlett Johansson.
Emma Stone or Scarlett Johansson? Dummy.
You didn't say that.
You know what I was talking about.
Well, one of them is responsible for Obamacare, so I'm going to go with Emma Stone.
And one of them is responsible for Soda Streams.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 products we can't live without.
No.
I'm writing that down. Obamacare and Soda Stream. Is that stream with an A?
What?
I think so. I don't know.
Products. We can't. My handwriting is so bad ever since I started typing everything on computers.
Like for 25 years?
Yep. Okay. So this is Jared. Do you know anything about this movie? It's
Heck yeah, he does.
Lucy?
yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's Scarlett Johansson plays the title character Lucy. She is a drug mule, and some drugs leak inside her body, and they grant her superpowers.
She becomes Neo.
It's not the further story of the crazy super smart ape from the movie Congo, is it?
No, but we never did talk about the
The movie that you should
the new
have.
Planet of the
name was-
Apes,
Which
Her
movie.
is
name
an
was
August
Lucy.
movie.
Is it?
Planet of the Apes movie? Yeah.
Okay. Lucy.
Anyway, I'm excited for Lucy. I like Luc Besson films, and
Yeah.
other than the fact that they trot out the old trope that we don't only use 10% of our brains, the film looks fun.
Adam.
I agree with Jared. That's not a true scientific fact in any regard, the 10% notion. But man,
Thanks, Einstein.
again, trailer looked awesome. I like Scarlett Johansson. I like people punching stuff.
I like punching and kicking.
Adam uses
Blowing up.
120% of his brain, and look how pathetic he is.
Wow.
I mean, he's overclocking that thing.
Exactly.
I'm excited about it too. Why not?
Why not?
Okay, Planet of the Apes. I didn't see the first one.
Oh man,
Next.
you should see it.
First one's good.
It's
I like.
good.
I'm really looking forward to the sequel.
Yeah.
Okay, jerks. Next.
You're,
Biggest flop of the summer.
Before we get into that, I have a sidebar question.
Oh my God, the show's 80 minutes
I know.
long.
Real quick, The Fault in Our Stars. Am I just weird in that I don't really know what this is and why Entertainment Weekly insists that everyone is going to love it and is devoting so much coverage to it?
It is a huge young adult
Okay.
novel. There was
Which one?
kids reading it.
The Fault in Our Stars.
It's the story about
I'm aware of John Green. I watched some of his YouTube channels, and I know that he wrote the book, and he's very excited for the film. But I don't know. Go ahead.
It's an uplifting story about 2 cancer kids falling in love. It's a huge young adult book that kind of is cut from the same cloth as like Hunger Games in the sense that it was like the next big thing for young adults.
Zac Efron would have been in this 3 years ago.
More than likely, he could have easily
Charlie
been
St.
cast. Probably
the
more
Charlie
than
St. Cloud. Of
probably more than
this
3
year.
years ago. But
Maybe
yes.
I'm wrong, but I feel like Entertainment Weekly has been giving it a disproportionate amount of
Well,
coverage
they
in the
do it
last
with
few months.
they do it with the Hunger Games too, though. I mean,
All
they're
right.
doing stuff that's going to sell. So
Hey
that's what
guys,
they do.
heaven is for real.
Fine.
Thank you.
Remember, it's a business, I guess.
Biggest flop, Jared. This is the time of the show where we give our predictions for performance.
Yes. Biggest flop?
And biggest flop, we'll start with you.
I've got. Can I have more than one?
Well,
I guess
I'll allow
it's
it.
biggest.
I'll allow it.
No.
it depends on what they are.
All right. This is a film I'm looking forward to, and I feel like it's not going to do well. I'm going with Jupiter Ascending.
Jared,
Yes.
I agree with you. And I have
Are
the
you
same
look-
thing.
Are you looking forward to it?
I hope I'm wrong.
Yes.
But Jupiter Ascending.
Okay.
So-
But maybe no one. It can't flop if no one knows it's coming out.
That's
Is that one of those?
that's the latest film from the Wachowski
Yes.
siblings.
Mhm.
I liked Cloud Atlas a bit, but it was also a flop, and Speed Racer was a flop, and a lot of their films have been flops.
I'd say everything except the first Matrix movie.
Well, I mean, the other Matrix films made money, but
right.
Yeah,
They
well,
flopped in my
Yeah,
heart.
the third one was, I would say, was pretty close to a flop. The second one was mediocre performance.
But I want it to be good. ahead.
So you guys are both picking Jupiter Ascending.
Yes.
My biggest flop may be wishful thinking, but I am picking Blended, Adam Sandler's African safari film.
I thought you might have said Edge of Tomorrow, which was also on my list.
No,
I
yeah,
went Jupiter Ascending.
the movie Blended to me looks like really an excuse for Adam Sandler just to go on an African safari for a few months.
Yeah, but
the premise is flawed. It just
The problem is
It looks terrible.
Adam Sandler films make money, and
They
they
do.
don't cost a fortune to make.
they do.
So,
So like I said, it's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I hope it's a flop.
Okay.
Adam Sandler can be very funny. He can do better than most movies that he produces.
is this the movie with what's her face again?
Yeah, he is reteaming with Drew Barrymore on
Their
this
third movie together.
Mm-hmm.
Their second one with date in the
La-di-da.
title.
Yeah, la-di-da. Next topic. Biggest question mark of the summer. This is the movie you're not quite sure about. I will start this off.
Yep.
I actually picked Jupiter Ascending as the question mark. I wasn't prepared to put it as biggest flop because you never know with these guys. Maybe once again it's wishful thinking that these guys, that the Wachowski brothers, as Jared likes to call them,
No, he said siblings.
siblings.
one of them's not a brother.
Yeah, they're not a brother anymore. I hope that the movie's interesting, but I got to tell you, Channing Tatum to me as a lead for an action star is not.
Someone's never seen Step Up.
I'm real hit or miss with him. I think he's funny, but I don't know. He seems a little bit one note to me a lot of times. So that is my selection for biggest question mark of the year. Adam.
I chose The Giver, a movie we've seen the trailer for a couple times.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite young adult novels.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even really a young adult novel, but that's
These
the-
post
It sort of predates the young adult.
Exactly.
moniker, doesn't it?
these young adult like post-apocalyptic world things, they're not doing as well
I know.
selling in books and the movies.
Well, Divergent did really well. I thought.
Not as well as what I think they thought it was going to
okay.
do. So you're getting diminishing returns. So
But this is
it
not
is a question mark.
That's not what this book is about. This book is not about the things in the trailer. So I'm hoping that the trailer is just meant to pull people in.
Good cast. You got Meryl Streep, Billy Eichner's favorites in this film.
I would strongly. It's like
All
it's
Billy
a
Eichner all the
super
time
short
with you,
read.
isn't it?
It's a super short read. I would recommend reading the book before the movie comes out so that you don't get down on
Do you
it.
masturbate during reading or after?
It's not an uplifting movie. And the other thing is the ending is very open to interpretation because Mandy and I have very different views on how
Yeah.
the book ends.
Well, she liked Spider-Man too, so we know what her views are.
So did Audrey.
No, she said it was just okay. Audrey said too much kissing, and then something else shouldn't have happened. Something else shouldn't have happened.
That's because
in
you
the film.
embarrassed her with her Andrew Garfield.
Okay, stop interrupting Jared. Jared, come on.
Biggest question mark for me is also Jupiter Ascending. I'm hopeful. I like the fact that they're doing high concept sci-fi and releasing it over the summer, but I think this could hit with a thud with audiences.
All right. Well, let's stick with you. Movies that you can't miss. So you're not commenting on performance. You're commenting on movies that you can't wait to see.
I don't think that's one of the questions.
That's not what it says. It
You have
says-
movies you certainly will miss.
Yeah.
Oh, I had there should be two things in there. Movies you can't miss, movies you should miss.
I don't have the can't miss.
Okay, well let's start with can't. Let's start with you should miss.
For me, Jersey Boys is the one I will probably miss for sure, and Hercules. I have no interest in seeing a Hercules film.
Okay, while you're listening to me think about movies you can't wait to see, I will do movies you cannot miss. or you will miss rather.
You will miss.
I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on this list because unless we get free tickets for it, I think it might be unlikely we see it unless we're gluttons for punishment. I've got Expendables 3 on my list. I've got Hercules on my list. I've got the aforementioned Blended. And if we don't see it for free, it'd be doubtful that we see Transformers. Although, that is a Scope tradition where we see that movie and then complain about it. Adam?
Yeah, but we've gotten passes for the last few.
Yeah. Adam, please enlighten us.
My list is the same. Expendables, Transformers, Hercules. Hercules is not only The Rock, Brett Ratner is directing it.
Oh, that's a son of a bitch.
But I'm going to add in Zach Braff's movie, Wish I Was Here, which is
He's
being
got a lot of
released
static for that.
over the summer. I have no desire to see Garden State again.
All right. So movies you can't miss. I will start this off and I'll do it slow so you guys
Are
can
these
think
gonna?
about it.
I have a few, but are we making these ones that we haven't really talked about already?
Can be both.
Both? Okay.
So I will start with one we have talked about. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is the one I'm most curious to see how it's going to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Another movie that, and I went a little bit more indie on some of these other films. I'm picking Boyhood, which is the story of, it stars Ethan Hawke, and it tells the tale of a boy growing up from 9 years old to college, and it's used the same actor. So it took the movie 12 years to make.
Really?
And I can't remember. Is it Lars Van Trier?
No.
I don't know. No.
That's
That's the other one.
It's Richard Linklater.
Richard Linklater. That's right.
the other.
Very
one.
close. Very close. I've got for my daughter. I put How to Train Your Dragon 2, which was a unusually good
I
movie.
liked that movie a lot, and you know why it's better than Frozen? No singing.
And I've also put Chef on there because I've heard a lot of good things about it. And then one final film that I put on the list, which I just saw the trailer for and intrigued me, is the Amy Poehler, Paul Rudd movie They Came Together, which is a romantic comedy, and they're making fun of all the romantic comedy things that you would see in a movie.
Written and directed by David Wayne.
Yeah, it's connected. David Wayne is that the Wet Hot American Summer guy? So it's going to be a bit strange and funny at the same time. So those are my films. I hope we get to see a lot of those for free, Jared.
I always keep my eyes peeled.
Okay, you're next. You're now prepared.
I have a list now. Guardians of the Galaxy is a big one for me. We talked about Lucy already. I'm excited for that. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I was a big fan of the first of the reboot series, and I'm excited for this one. And I also have A Wanted Man on the list, only because Philip Seymour Hoffman is no longer with us, and we must savor all of his remaining cinematic moments.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Savor it like a fine wine. Adam, finish this up.
All right, so I've got a lot of the same ones. I do have Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, actually one of the ones I'm more excited about. Guardians of the Galaxy, sure. Chef, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
They Came Together, like you said.
Oh, look at you and me.
One of the ones that was not mentioned, but another comedy is Obvious Child. This is Jenny Slate, who, if you watch Parks and Rec, she plays John Ralphio's sister.
Mm-hmm.
She was in
Mona Lisa.
Yes, she was in Kroll Show quite a bit. It's a comedy about maybe getting an abortion, but not a straight comedy.
So I'll be bringing Audrey to this one for sure.
Exactly. And 22 Jump Street. Really excited about that movie.
All right. So this is the moment we've all been waiting for, Jared.
Mm-hmm. What do you want from me?
I say this is the moment we've all been waiting for.
You want something special?
Something.
What?
A ding, maybe? Or yeah, there we go. This is our prediction of biggest movie of the summer. And guess what? There's no Avengers this year.
There is no.
But I think we all came to consensus on what that movie is going to be.
Not the movie we want to be the best.
No, exactly.
The one that will make the most money.
The one will make the most money. Jared, why don't you tell us what we all agreed on?
We all agreed that Transformers Age of Extinction will be the box office champion of the summer 2014 movie season.
Because there's nothing better than Optimus Prime riding giant skeleton dragons with swords.
Yes.
But it's got the Dinobots in it, guys.
They're masquerading as Dinobots. They're dragons. That's what it looks like to me.
I have
Metal dragons,
I have
Jared.
barely given the trailer the time of day because I'm so done with that series. But I know that most of America is not done with that series,
boy.
and they will happily fork over tons of money for it.
It's disgusting.
Feed the beast.
Feed the beast. Well, there you have it. Transformers, our prediction for biggest movie of the summer. Guys, this saga, this drama is going to play out over the next 3 months and 3.5 months, and we cannot wait to bring it to you every step of the way.
Do we ever go back and review this? Maybe we should consider doing that. No?
Boring. Absolutely boring.
We live in the now.
We are very forward-thinking podcast / vidcast / vodcast.
That's when I drink vodka all through the podcast.
Perfect. All right, so let's wrap this up, Jared. This is a wrap-up sign.
Okay.
And then we'll move on to coming soon.
We
After this.
We have a break.
After this.
You've forgotten how the show goes.
After this.
Now, back to Shane. And who are those other guys?
Under the scope.
This is Under the Scope, but more specifically, it's coming soon. Adam?
Hi.
You got a problem there?
I'm always stepping on this cable. I don't know what's wrong with me. We've got.
Well, look how your feet are positioned. I wonder why.
That's the worst
Got
posture
him
ever.
splayed out like he's some sort of penguin.
I like to role play as my spirit animal every
Okay.
time I do coming soon. So let's just let it go.
All right. Well, tell
I'm
us
letting
what's
it
coming
go.
soon.
Just like
I know Frozen.
Frozen,
Music. We've got nothing.
wait, have you heard
nothing-
about this film, Frozen?
Nothing from
It's
the
catching on to
soundtrack
it. It's very big.
to the movie Frozen. We have new album from the Black Keys.
I'm sort of looking forward to that. It's a different sound to it, I'll tell you that much.
It is a very different sound, and I'm not looking forward to it based on that one single. Little Dragon has a new album coming out too. I don't know who that is. I realized when I put that on here, I was
Little
like,
Dragon?
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's the.
I think
other-
you're thinking of Imagine Dragons.
Imagine Dragons, but no, this band is called Little Dragon.
Okay.
And
Seems like they're jumping on a trend.
Coldplay has an album coming out.
It's supposed to be much more stripped down.
Well, maybe because Chris Evans Martin can't copy
Chris
people
Evans
this time.
What is going on here? This is a
Movies.
disaster.
We've got some movies coming out this week.
We do.
3 movies, as a matter of fact. I'm going to start with the biggest one.
What's that?
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Yes.
We talked about it
Is that
a
the
bunch
Japanese title?
already. Yes, that is the Japanese title. Just a couple things to point out here. Guillermo del Toro expressed enthusiasm for a potential crossover between Godzilla and Pacific Rim.
Well, I hope he just
Another
Godzilla
Legendary
destroys those
Pictures
things.
film, because they're both being produced by the same company.
Has Pacific Rim 2 even been officially greenlit? I
No.
don't think it has.
I don't think you'll ever see it.
But stressed that no such plans are in place.
Well, wipe
right.
the sweat off my brow.
We've also got $1 Million Arm. This is
Audrey said that looks like a very good movie.
That's because it plays music that appeals to children and women, and children specifically. I don't even know how they get by.
It's the film where John Hamm goes to India searching for a new pitcher.
Exactly, it's the true story.
Because we can't find great pitchers in America. We've got to go overseas
Indians-
every time.
Indians are always taking our jobs.
Even outsourcing our Major League Baseball pitching.
This is, the true story of baseball pitchers Rinku Singh and Dinesh Patel. Really, another Patel.
There's too many Patels.
Who were discovered by sports agent J.B. Bernstein. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It's one of my people. After winning a reality show competition.
One of my people. Sorry, go ahead.
John Hamm, Bill Paxton, and Alan Arkin star as the white people.
Well, we'll just wait for Bill Paxton to double cross him in some fashion.
Yeah.
And
He always does,
finally,
yeah.
Palo Alto, the James Franco movie.
This is James Franco's May appearance.
Yes.
He makes a lot of appearances.
He is in films all the time, this guy.
This is the one where he may be banging a high school student, and people were saying that the weird thing that he did a couple months ago, trying to hook up with a 17-year-old, may have not been real because it was a weird.
A social media prank.
Who knows?
Punking.
Guy is so weird. Gia Coppola is directing this, and she also wrote the screenplay.
Okay.
Another Coppola.
All they do is
keep
make films.
popping out. DVD.
Yeah.
We've got I, Frankenstein. Do you guys remember when the Aaron Eckhart?
Aaron
Frankenstein?
Eckhart?
Yeah.
4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
4% not liking it?
4% bad. 4% as in that's out of 100, it's out of 4 out of 100.
It's a 4% fresh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's mega stinky.
Out of 100 reviews, only 4 of them liked it.
Yeah. On
That's how
average.
percentages work.
Thank you.
We've got an award winner here. We've got That Awkward Moment, the MTV Movie Award winner for Best Shirtless Performance from Zac Efron. I don't know.
I don't even know what to say about that.
There you go.
Good to know.
We saw a lot of him shirtless in
We did.
Neighbors. I'll tell you
Probably
that
more
much.
than I was comfortable with.
Yeah.
And video games, not much. We've got a new Kirby game on the 3DS, and Borderlands 2 is coming to the PlayStation Vita. But
Interesting.
that's not all that's coming soon.
No?
No.
It's not the best segue ever.
We're tired. It's a long day. I think that it is Jared's turn.
Yes, and I'm picking a hit this week. It is the home video release of the movie Her, directed by Spike Jonze, starring Joaquin Phoenix in the voice of Scarlett Johansson. You and I saw this, gave it 4 stars.
Probably I didn't see all the Oscar films.
Yeah.
I didn't see every film put out last year, but that was my favorite film of the year.
It was a very, very good film.
I still have not seen it. Mandy is psyched to see this movie.
It's coming out on DVD and Blu-ray this week.
Excellent.
So
you
get
can
it.
check it out.
Hit it.
Her is a hit.
All right, I think that wraps it up for coming soon.
Under the scope.
I like that segue, Jared. Maybe after we finish up,
Yeah.
hit it or miss it from now on.
Yeah.
You just find the break. I don't say anything. You go right into that.
Trying to streamline it. Trying to keep it tight.
I like it. It makes me much less awkward.
We got a comment this week. John Norton commented. He says, "As an avid,
Is he an editing machine or what?
as an avid Sorkin fan, I'm disappointed that Walk and Notch wasn't the winning episode title. This was to episode 171, where you recapped your Mexico vacation.
Full disclosure, I lost my notes.
Yeah.
And I just forgot.
It
should have been.
When I came home the other night after we saw Neighbors, Angie was actually watching our show on the YouTube on the television, and the Mexico episode happened to be on, and so I got to listen to that tale again.
And how did it play out?
It was fun.
All right, good.
It was fun.
I have to let you know, Shane, I had coworkers come back from a similar vacation in a different Mexican city.
Yeah.
Nachos everywhere there too. They are amazed.
Actually, I asked my sister about her Mexican vacation.
Yeah.
They went there sometime in the past, and they did not have a nacho bar. I think she was disappointed, but it was not an all-inclusive resort.
Oh, yeah.
So that might have been
That's the key.
The demarcation there. If you've ever been to Mexico and experienced a nacho bar as well, you can comment at comments@thescopeshow.com. Call a voicemail line at 612-21-SCOPE. That's 612-217-2673. Comment on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or on YouTube. All of those links are on the website at thescopeshow.com. What was with the finger wave, Shane?
Oh, no, I was trying to go along with you, like the bouncing ball
I
sort
see.
of.
I thought you were like, wrap it up, sucker. Wrap it up, sucker. And as always, if you'd like to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/thescopeshow, where you can pledge to support us.
God knows we need it.
Do it. Join the small cadre of supporters we have.
Join the Scope Army.
Back to you, Shane.
Like a Scope battalion right now. Back to me. Well, Adam, Jared, we said a mouthful today, and it was all about summer movies. So I want to thank you guys for doing the work, doing the research. I want to thank our viewers, our fans for watching and listening. And I don't want to thank myself because I don't deserve it. I've been really bad today.
Terrible.
So let's just wrap this thing up, Jared. Till the next show. You know it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves once again at the end. I hope you've enjoyed our time together. I know I have. Fear not, Scope faithful. Days shall pass as if they were but a moment. And Jared, Adam, and Shane will return with another thrilling episode. Until then, send your comments to comments@thescopeshow.com or leave a voicemail message by dialing
612-21-SCOPE. That's 612-217-2673.
Thanks for listening, faithful fans. This is Tony Partington saying, hasta la vista. Tune in next time to another terrific edition of The Scope.